What's up guys, it's Michael here. In this video, we're going to cover the 3 most important things that you need before you should start a business. So let's get down to the process. Before I continue on in this video, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll continue making more content, revolutionize around business and finance. And eventually, I'll start covering real estate and document my journey around real estate. Why makes houses so expensive, what design structure, and what architects go in there when it comes to designing a model home or other low-end homes, ranging to low-end to high-end. So when you look in a business, there's 3 main things that I mainly see. So 1, a business model. Number 2, income what you need before starting. And number 3 is pretty much optional. It is basically where you have friends or family, basically extra support. So I'm gonna rank the 3, which one is the most important and which one is the least important. And all of them have benefits in every way, shape, or form. Like for example, the least important one is video could be the most important thing ever. Because you look at people who start at big corporations and companies like Yahoo, Google, they start with, a pair of friends. They went to college, did something different. They had basic ideas. What you need in videos and also in businesses when you come together are ideas. Same thing with this YouTube channel. You need ideas and you just go out and do it. So we'll break down the first one. I think is the most important is a business model. A lot of people start their business. It's like some people say, you go in full blind. You learn on the way you go, right? Basically make mistakes. To simplify, make mistakes, accept your failures, and learn from them. But at the same time, it can be very costly. And in the beginning, making mistakes is a learning process. But at the same time, you want to minimize it. And the way to minimize it is a business model. So a few examples you can look at is like Tesla. Tesla itself, it's a giant, massive corporation now. But you look at it about 10 years ago, a decade ago, almost a decade and a half ago, like back in 2003, you look at Elon Musk and we're beginning his future, how he began. He made from like his company called PayPal, and he moved up from there, moved to another business, and on from there. But along the process, he made basically a business plan. What should he do from point A to point B? It also even looks at point C going forward. So basically is you enjoy today, but at the same time, prepare for the future, invest for the future. And that is what he did. He saw that electric cars are going to be more profitable and it could be more dominant than the mainstream gasoline cars. So he pushed on with that. So what you really need in a business model. In a business model, you look at basically your finance and revenues. So basically the money spending that you need for whatever product or service you're providing. Number 2 is the marketing. How you can market to your audience. And when you look at audience, you look at GoPro. GoPro is a perfect example how a business outcome, a business strategy went from really great to really wrong really fast. And there are a few videos explaining how they went from really dominating the market, an action-based market, to now just falling from grace because they tried something different and they didn't stick up to it. Let's face it, the GoPro is a great product. I would personally use one too if I find uses for it one day. But at the same time, they stepped into areas that they weren't experts at and they didn't commit to it. So when you make a business plan, you must commit to it to the T and make changes along the way. But at the same time, it has to make sense and it has to go with the flow. Meaning is if something goes wrong within the business model, you can change it, but make sure do not deviate too much from it. What is your main goal when starting a business, providing a product or service? Number 2 is pretty important too, but I find it probably the most least important is income and revenue. And why I mentioned that, most startups do not have a lot of income or revenue. For example, this YouTube channel that I'm currently creating and shooting finance videos on this camera. In the beginning, like you have a certain amount of money, you get it and you start it up. Then you set up a cap for yourself. Let's say 5,000, 10,000, right? You take that amount of money and you invest back into yourself by buying equipment like cameras, microphones, software to do video editing, and so go from there. Maybe some classes to learn from basically education standpoint, and you go on from there. So you want to keep basically when you start a business, the income, the usage very low. And the best way to do it is basically work by yourself. Meaning is if you get friends or family to help you, great. But if you get them to help you, like expecting for like return right away, then it's going to be a really heavy upfront cost. And there's a lot of companies out there are not willing to put up that work. That is the major key benefit. That if people are willing to work, come together, use their extra spare time. Like a lot of people say they don't have spare time, but let's face it, they do. Like let's spend time gaming or spend time like basically eating, partying, drinking. You can spend that extra time working on a business. If you find friends like that, you can call like friends with benefits, and you guys work together. Solution. What happens when this goes when this gets big? You work together. You spend your free time working together, and you acknowledge that everyone gets no pay until it works. If that is the case, then great. You have like basically what I call it the dream team in business. When starting up a business, you have people who are willing to sacrifice their time and not get paid for it and basically try their best to make it succeed. You basically have a dream team. And there are very few companies that have actually pulled that off. And actually, I know a few that are actually currently doing that right now. But thanks to an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, I cannot mention their names. But in the future, when that surpasses and basically expires, I can give you that information. But moving on is number 3, people. People are important, yet in the same time, a startup, depending on your market space and place, it's actually not that important. What I mean by that, most startups, like for example, this YouTube channel, I shoot the videos myself, I edit them myself, I uploading them myself. And at the same time, I might have a video editor along the way help me out along the process. But if you have a lot of people up front and you start paying them right away, then it's going to be a really heavy upfront cost. So people, like you say, you cannot start a business without a friend or without a partner. No, that's actually not true. You can do it without a partner. In the beginning, the only thing you have to do is what you have the most in the beginning is time. Once your business starts up and grows, then the time gets less and less. That is when you need to hire more people. So you have 24 hours a day. Let's assume that you basically sleep for 8 hours a day. What do you do for the rest of the time? 12 hours, right? Basically more than 12 hours. You're looking at close to around basically come on 13, because people will have off time. So let's say it's a good number is 12 hours, because you need to have basically breaks along the process of your working. So you work for, let's assume, like 12 hours a day, sleep for 8 hours, and your 4 hours are basically your break time. So your break time is basically where you space it out and you rest, and you basically, if you have people to talk to, you communicate with them. Or if you're by yourself in your own business, you think about what you have done today, what you have done productive, and what you can do better than today when you preparation for tomorrow. That's the most important thing when it comes to business. Preparation prevents piss poor performance. And the same goes for all 3 things I listed in this video. What I want you to take away is, if you do start a business, make sure to know what you're getting into. Is number 1, get out a whiteboard, piece of paper, whatever you need, draw a plan. Number 2, identify how much income you need. Basically, if you don't need a lot of income for your startup, that is great. That's actually the best possible case. And number 3, if you can find a friend or a family member to work with you, spend like an hour or 2 hours at a time every day and just help you out, whatever things you need, then that'll be really beneficial. If not, it's okay. So these 3 things take away: plan, income, revenues per startup. So you're looking, I suggest, depending what you're doing, it can range from like a few $100s, a few $1,000s to, don't have to spend any money at all. And number 3, and whether or not you can find people who are like-minded, are willing to work with you. If not, then you start from by yourself. But that is how business works, and the whole point of business is to get out of the financial rat race. The reason why I make these videos so people can understand is you don't always have to be working for someone in the future. You can always work for yourself. You just have to go and grab it and give it a try. And the most important part is mindset along this process. I hope you guys found this video really informational. Please like, share, subscribe. And if you guys want to see more different content, such as more automotive, maybe real estate, because that's the one I'm planning to take a look in the future to see what designs that people do, just comment down below and subscribe. And pretty soon I'll make a Discord so you guys can drop your ideas and I can cover topics that you want me to cover. See you guys next on my channel. Peace.